Hey guys, it's new patch day on February 25th. There's a new patch for Autochess. We've been having so much fun. If you haven't tuned into my stream yet, you should. Twitch.tv/Amaz. Okay, that's insane. We're gonna go over these changes really quickly. And I'm gonna give you guys my initial thoughts on them. Obviously, people are trying out new stuff and everything. But, you know, this is also gonna just let you know what the changes are. Okay, so first of all, there are 3 new pieces that are added. There's Ricky, which is a Satyr Assassin, cost 3. There's Mirana, which is a 3-cost Elf Hunter. And there's also Death Prophet, which is a 5-cost Undead Warlock. Based on the previous... What's it called? Based on the previous games, Ricky kind of sucks, okay? So what Satyr does is, if he's on your bench, he covers up all your units. So your opponents can't see what you're building. It's actually not that good. It doesn't give you any combat, right? It's just kind of stupid. But he's an assassin that has a smoke screen that silences and also gives mischance. But overall, it seems kind of underwhelming. The smoke screen is really small. Like, it's a very, very small area. And then he doesn't do a lot of damage. He's also a 0 armor, so it's actually pretty bad. So I would kind of stay away from it unless, you know, there's some really good assassin comp which should use the silence. Mirana is a 3-cost Elf Hunter that sits on the Panther, yeah? Her ulti is actually kind of weird. So when she uses her ulti, which is arrow, she actually shoots wherever your team is. Okay, so for example, if you're currently fighting another elf, if you're fighting a orc player, for example, then Potem will not ult your board. Potem will ult the orc's board. And then the Potem that you send to your opponent's team will use her ulti on your board. So every time you see arrow shooting somewhere else, it's because of this reason. Your Potem actually does not target your own board. She targets the other board that your other Potem is on. Okay? So that's just something interesting. By herself, she does a lot of damage, but she has 0 armor. Every 0 armor unit in this game is very, very unreliable. Right? 0 armor is very bad. So I would also stay away from her unless you're building elves or hunters. Yeah, just very unreliable. Also, yeah, her arrow can miss, obviously, because she selects a target, shoots the arrow, and then by the time the arrow goes to the position, it might miss because that unit might die. So there's no more unit there anymore. Or that unit might have jumped somewhere else. So that sucks too. And finally, the last unit is Death Prophet. Death Prophet is a legendary Undead Warlock, and when she ults, she summons a lot of spooky ghosts that deals a lot of damage. And then after the ghost ends, she heals all the damage she dealt. Unfortunately, I don't know why this is the case, but she has 400... she has 45 attack. So it's actually just terrible. And then I think she also has 0 armor, which is actually just bad too. So I don't know, man. I will also stay with Death Prophet unless you really need an undead. The Warlock is not really that important, right? But I if you need an undead, then sure. But currently, I don't really like it. The biggest problem with DP is that her ulti disappears when she's dead, which is not the same case as the other legendaries, you know, like Enig or like Lich. You know, like those units, when they ulti, it doesn't matter if they die afterwards, right? But DP needs to live, that's a problem. So yeah, currently all the 3 new chess pieces kind of suck, but as always with new pieces, you kind of need to figure out how to make them work first, right? It's kind of like when Terrorblade came out. People go like, oh, Terrorblade's kind of weird, you know? Anyways, Slark got buffed. Slark got insanely buffed. I would actually recommend using Slark now. So he costs 2 now, and then he has a Pounce. So Pounce is you immediately dash to someone, and you deal a lot of damage, plus you disarm them. Disarm in this game also silences, so a disarm unit will not be able to cast spells. That's actually insane. Unfortunately, there's a nerf to Slark though. He's now 0 armor. So once again, it's a huge nerf for 5 armor to 0 armor, but the ability is big because the Shadow Dance thing didn't do anything before, right? It was actually crap. So more testing required, I guess. Alchemist, holy shit, Alchemist is huge rework, huge. So there's no more acid spray, and there's the Chemical Rage now. So Chemical Rage is he buffs himself with a lot of attack speed, a lot of attack damage, and also he gets a lot of HP regen. However, he did get a nerf. His base attack is decreased by 0.3, so it attacks slower now. This is actually a big nerf to Alchemist. Usually, Alchemist, you use him for the negative armor and go like, holy shit, I just put him in. He can ulti, he can die, and it doesn't matter, right? Now it kind of turned into carry. So think of him as more like a TB, more of like a Terrorblade, but Goblin. So that's pretty bad. So I would stay away from him in general comps. He probably is really good now in Goblins because Goblins tend to not have enough damage. But yeah, Alchemist is no longer the epic that everybody just picks, right? And goes like, oh my god, this negative armor is insane. So I don't like it. Alright, onwards. We have Undead is a bit nerfed. Neck 5, neck 7 to neck 4, neck 6. So 1 armor decrease on each one. I mean, Undead was insane. So I think the nerf was necessary. I still think it's pretty good, but it's not as insane as before. It's not as like, oh my god, you just want a Drow and an Abaddon in every comp in early game, right? But yeah, you needed a little bit of thinking, I guess. Hunter also got nerfed from 30% to 25%. Yeah, I guess it's fine. People have discovered that Hunter combo is actually really good because the more attack damage you deal, the more mana you can gain. So stuff like Medusa and Tidehunter, they charge a little faster, and that, especially Medusa. So like that was really, really big, but now it got nerfed. But it's not really that big. It's not really a big deal, I think. If you go Hunters, you can still go Hunters. Next up, we have Beast combo. Beast got a big buff. Went from 10, 15, 20 to 15, 20, 25. I mean, if you compare this to the Hunter, the Beast is actually insane. Like 2 Beasts is actually pretty chunky, and 4 Beasts, it's 35% attack damage for all your units. That's actually huge. And there are some good beasts in the game, right? There's you know, Lone Druid, there's Lycan, Tusk for the early game. I mean, some are pretty bad, like, you know, Sand King requires a very specific comp, Enchantress, and the other beast is Vino. So yeah, but this beast buff did get buffed. So you shouldn't be, you should actually actively seek out the 2 beast bonus. I think the 4 beast bonus is still really good, but you have to win some whatever units. Naga got a huge buff. They got magic resist from 2040 to 3030. So like 2 Nagas is actually super good against mages now, because mages are 4040, right? So if you have 2 Nagas, you actually pretty much blank out the mage bonus. And look, if mages can't do magic damage and burst down your units immediately in the game, then you're pretty much safe. So yeah. And also, like, Slug got a double buff in the sense, right? Slug not only got the Naga synergy buffed, but he also got its kit buffed. So Slug got a bit better, Slaughter got a bit better. Yeah, there you go. Orcs got nerfed from 250, 350 to 200, 300, which is good because Orcs is just, like, dominating, right? Orcs is just insane, so it's a good nerf. Still gonna be good, though. But there's another Orc nerf that's huge that we're gonna look at later. Next up, we have Razor's Plasma Field AoE. The size decreased from 456 to 4.5 and 500. This is actually not a nerf, I don't think. It's just that the area decreased. So what that means is that, you know, it's not gonna hit one space, but the damage is still gonna be fine. One might actually argue that this might be a buff because Razor has a very specific attack radius, right? Like, Razor attacks 2 spaces away from him. And if the Plasma AoE is exactly 2 spaces away from him, then it deals maximum damage on his auto attack range. So it's not even a nerf. It's not, like, you could actually argue it's a buff. So I think it's just fine. It's not a buff. It's not a nerf to Razor at all. It's just a little change. Next up, we have Beastmaster. Attack rate decreased by 0.2. Huge nerf. Thank God, because Beastmaster was ridiculous. So yeah, Beastmaster is gonna be, it's actually increased. They say decrease to kind of make more sense, but it's actually increased. So Beastmaster takes 0.2 more seconds to launch an attack. Yeah, that's all I say. Beastmaster is no longer auto pick. Lina got an attack rate buff by 0.3, which is actually pretty huge because you actually couple that with the Laguna Blade cooldown reduction from 13.10.7 to 10.8.6, means that if Lina ultis twice in the fight, it's actually really good, right? That might actually happen now that the like 8-second cooldown is actually pretty big at level 2. So Lina might be good. We have to keep an eye out for that. Witch Doctor's cast got one more bounce. Doesn't really change it. Witch Doctor is still shit. Tinker, damage per missile increased by 50. And then also the cooldown is 864 instead of 765 now. So Tinker 3 is a little better. The 50 damage is pretty apparent, by the way. Like very, very apparent in early game and mid game. So if you find Tinker now, you can actually run it in Tron, so 3 goblins, and not go like, oh shit, this Tinker is like really, really bad. So it's a little bit better. Disruptor's storm damage decreased from 1-300 to 1.5 200. Yeah, that's fine. Like, yeah, Disruptor is OP. Disruptor is like, dude, there are some fights that Disruptor is actually top DPS, which just doesn't make sense, right? So I think this is fine. This is correct. So then some people got some appearance changes. And then if some people DC'd, you can actually just remake the game in the early game. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. Very cool patch. Amazing. I love the patch. Dude, it's insane to see how many patches this game has already. In like, what? How long has Autochess been out? Like 3 months or something? So, super awesome. And you guys can stay tuned to this channel for more Autochess videos.